Hey guys, welcome back to another video. In this I'm going to be explaining the very bare-bone basics of imaginary numbers. So for many centuries, people were mathematicians specifically didn't really grasp the concept of radicals with negative numbers and things like that, because they just were it's a negative, I don't like that, that kind of is stupid. That's basically what they were like. They did not like that. So instead they just left it be. Until one fateful day, another mathematician, forgot his name, but he came through and was like, well, let's make imaginary numbers a real thing. And so he created I, which stands for the imaginary number. And I is equal to -1. And so if you have I squared, that's equal to -1. So that's because if you square I, that'll be two negative square roots times each other, but since it's the square roots cancel each other out, which makes the -1 left. And then if you do it again and you make that I cubed, then you make it negative the square root of -1, then you do I4, and then you make that just 1. Because then what you're doing to do that is you're doing another square root -1 times this, which creates a negative times a -1, which just cancels out to a +1, so then you're left with that. So that's pretty simple. Imaginary numbers aren't honestly that complicated, though. They do wait till Algebra 2 trigonometry to really teach you that, which is kind of depressing because it's really simple. They should teach it in elementary school because it's really easy. So anyway, if say you had because we know I is equal to square root of -1, if we say have -25, and we'll use this as a secondary example, but -9, all you need to do here is you factor it into the imaginary numbers and into the 25, and then we know the square root of 25 is 5, and we know this is equal to I. So the answer would just be 5I, and that is how you simplify a negative square root. And it's the same concept here, you just factor it out. So you factor it out, so the square root of 9 is 3, and then you'll have -1, so it would go to just 3 and then I. So imaginary numbers are really simple, and so they're really not that hard to do. So all you need to do is just understand that I is equal to the square root of -1, and it's really easy to solve any negative fractions, or not fractions, square roots or cube roots for that matter. Basically, it's really easy to solve all of these. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. I'll try to do more math videos someday. Alright guys, bye.